do it. Thanks for joining us, Jay Onion, and all our listeners. Thanks for coming to another DeFi Raiders AMA. We're here with Ghast protocol. We're an enhanced yield and lending protocol built on top of GMX's GLP and GMD protocol and other existing large cap applications within the Arbitrum eco. By employing an enhanced version of GMD protocol's pseudo delta neutral strategy, they offer liquidation free money market strategies for yield bearing tokens. We're all excited to learn more. So yeah, welcome to get us started, Jay Onion. Would you just tell us who you are, what your role on the team is, and kind of give us an intro to your team.
Oh yeah, wait. My bad. I think I gave you the wrong instructions to pronounce my username. It should be like Junyan, just for clarification.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Junyan.
it's all
Okay.
right. It's all right. But onions are pretty cool. Yeah. So about me, I'm the dev, like the lead dev at Gas Protocol. So we at Gas Protocol, we're building delta neutral lending markets on top of GMX's GLP vaults, which are made by GMD protocol. Um, so on our team, we have like 5 people. So we have one person leading the team, which is Frosty. We have me. I mainly do smart contracts, and we have 2 UI guys and one person on marketing and graphics.
Very cool. So have you all worked together before? How'd you meet?
Yeah, so I've not met the other 3 people on the team, but the way I met Frosty is pretty cool. So I I've known him for a bit, but it's like I haven't really I didn't really know I noticed him until he like reached out and like wanted me for the dev position, which was pretty cool. So Frosty has worked on previous projects before, but he wants to be like anonymous. So I'll respect his privacy. I won't go too into how we met exactly. But I think I trust all the team. They're really great people to work with. And yeah.
Yeah, cool. So I mean, I'd love to hear a little more of the founding story, if you don't mind, without obviously giving away who Frosty is. What was kind of the idea that led you all to build to build Ghast?
Yeah, so Frosty is really active within the GMD and GND communities. So that's kind of how we got founded there. We realized like we were thinking about like degen strategies where like if GMD USDC is offering like 15% APR, why not just like use it as collateral and borrow USDC and just like degen loop it, like, but there's no protocol really that lets you do it well. So that's how we got started. We wanted just like it was just like a very simple way for GMD token holders to earn extra yield by looping the assets. But as we thought about it, we realized that Gas protocol could be so much more than just a second layer on top of GMD. Like there's so many other correlated assets. Like you think about like GDI, other yield bearing assets, or even liquid staking derivatives like wrap stake ETH. You want to be able to borrow the same correlated asset, but without like fear of getting liquidated. And um, I think Gas is a really cool product in that there's just no liquidations.
Yeah, that is super cool. So we ought to go there next. So how is it possible to do liquidation free money markets?
Yeah, so the way we do this is okay, so just a primer on how GMD's vaults work. Let's take GMD USDC for example. The price is hard coded at some like amounts, and there's a hard coded APR. So if you actually look into the code, you'll just see that there's like a peg, and it always moves upwards. And there's an APR the team sets like every week. I talk to them, and they're like, oh, we just look at the GLP APR, we just set a number, and that's our APR for the vaults. So if you think about this, right, the the peg for GMD USDC, it can only go up. And in rare cases, GMD can be insolvent. Like they have, there's more, the GMD USDC is worth more than what they have, but they have like a backstop vault. They have a lot of um, buffers in place to make sure that doesn't happen. So, you have GMD USDC, let's say it yields 15%. As long as your borrow rate doesn't go higher than the supply rate, as long as that like as long as they're correlated assets, right? So let's say the borrow rate is like also 15%, you just can't get liquidated. And the way we make this work is we have a cap on the borrow rate, meaning it's nearly impossible to get liquidated. I ran the calculations, and if you want a very pessimistic approach, a user can get liquidated or like go under in like 10 years. But because of that, we added just a function, governance liquidate user. But we hope we'll never have to use it. Um, it's really rare because these are correlated assets. These are assets that go up. There's not much risk. There's no real oracles for us to measure. So, no liquidation risk.
Yeah, that's very cool. That's fascinating. I mean, it reminds me of the earlier DeFi attempts at leveraging LPs that of course didn't work out so well because they weren't necessarily correlated or backstopped or anything like that.
Yeah.
So very cool. So do you have so clearly you guys have a good relationship with the GMD team then, since you're coming out of that community, right?
Yeah, we're all fully doxed to the GMD team as well.
Oh, very cool. Well, good. That answered one of the questions I was going to ask later. So walk us through the user experience. So somebody has some GLP, right? What do they do next?
All right, so um, I guess a common misconception with our product is that we're looping GLP itself, but we're actually using GMD's vault first. So let's say you have some USDC, you would then stake that onto GMD. So these are like delta neutral vaults provided by GMD. So they do all the hedging, they do all the rebalancing of GLP's pool composition. We don't directly offer GLP money markets because GLP is like a combination of USDC, ETH, Bitcoin, etc. So basically, the workflow is, let's say you have some USDC, you deposit it into GMD, you earn some APR through them, then you deposit it into us. Now, this lets you borrow up to 80% of that value in USDC. So now you can borrow 80% of that. Now you have USDC. And if you want to keep looping, you just redeposit that USDC back into GMD, and it's a pretty simple process from then on.
Yeah, neat. That does sound like it takes all most of the really all of the management out of it once you've done it. Then,
Mhm.
yeah, very cool. So good. So now let's talk about how the protocol will make money. So you've acquired some treasury through through a fundraise, and you're farming with that, and it seems like that will generate a whole bunch of protocol revenue. So what's your approach with that, and what other revenue sources are there, or do you plan?
Yeah. So first of all, I want to point out that like we're actually doing crazy fees right now. Even though people are asking like, how are you generating fees when you don't even have a product out? Our protocol owned liquidity is, when we started, it was like there was so much fees because we set it on like the 1% Uniswap fee tier, and I think we generated like 10,000, something like really high on the first day. So that's all going back to gas stakers. And now we have our protocol owned liquidity on GND. So we'll be farming GND and XGND, and we plan to distribute that in wrapped ETH rewards to our stakers. But as far as when our actual product comes out, so just like any other lending market, we do have protocol fees, meaning part of the fees paid by borrowers goes to us. And right now that's currently set at 25%. And in return for these fees, the lenders do get they get some emissions. So they do get Ghast and escrowed Ghast in a 20 to 80 ratio. So it's mostly escrowed Ghast, but we do pay emissions. However, those are linear throughout a 5 year, and we would like to, we see a future where we just generate protocol fees, from people who naturally want to loop their GLP. Um, and as we move away from those emissions, we'll slowly become like more focused on a real yield product.
Yeah, that's very cool. That's a nice way to start, certainly. And I should mention at this point, everybody attending will get special access in the Ghast Discord, assuming one of us figures out how to screenshot the attendance.
Yeah, I'll get a cool role in our server.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a nice benefit. So good. So let's move on to security and governance, and then into tokenomics and roadmap, and then we'll open it up for questions since we got a whole bunch of people here. So hopefully people will have questions. So yeah, so on the security front, so I assume you're working with bespoke contracts here on on top um, of GMD. So what steps are you taking to ensure protocol security? Do you have plans for an audit or bug bounty? Things like that.
Right. So right now we're currently in the audit phase. We have an ongoing audit with Paladin, and that's part of the reason why it's taking so long to launch our lending markets. But security is a really high priority for us. It would we understand that as operating as a money market, we need to be completely bug free. There's like a lot of bugs that have been going around plaguing lending markets. For example, like TenderFi misconfigured one of their oracles, and that led all the money to be drained. Right? We don't want that to happen. And a part of that is also we have security caps in place. So we are relying on GMD from our initial product. We like GMD USDC, borrow USDC. So like we, the thing is, if GMD USDC goes under, that would then impact us. So to mitigate the damage, we do have supply caps for both GMD USDC and USDC. Also, yeah, for all the other assets, right? So GMD ETH, GMD Wrap Bitcoin, GMD USDT, all those we have supply caps on that, and we also have Oracle caps, meaning for some reason, let's say uh, GMD USDC is now like it's like randomly worth like $1,000. We have a ceiling on our Oracle cap, so like there is we are trying to mitigate. We understand that by building liquidation-free lending markets, each pool does rely on the underlying asset, right? So there is risk involved, but we're trying to cap that risk for our users.
Yeah, cool. It sounds like right. You're thinking in a few different ways about risk, which is nice. Um, and let's see, and then the other kind of key area of risk, so which you address part of, and that you're docs to GMD is how are you working to mitigate key person risk, which is of course a big one in DeFi.
Right. We still, even how, no matter how good our smart contracts are, we need to make sure our wallets are good. We don't want, like an ownership hack. That would also be really bad. And part of that is we have a multi-sig, first of all. So the signers are the people on our team. We also have a GMD Crimson on the multi-sig. And, it's set up in a way where no single team member can just rug the project if they wanted to. But of course, I trust my team. Another thing is we were starting out with hot wallets, so we were all using like hot wallets. But that's like personally, I've been in crypto long enough where I hot wallets make me scared. I do most of my stuff on Ledger, so right when we started, we moved all our dangerous functions to cold wallets. So I used to have like, for example, like I used to have like the mint function to Ghast on my hot wallet. I moved that to my cold wallet, and then I eventually renounced that. Um, Also, in the early stages, me and Crimson, we wanted to share like a hot wallet for like the treasury because you know how we're farming on GND, like it would be really annoying to just do that all with a multi-sig. So we have two wallets. We have the multi-sig and we have like kind of like the treasury, which isn't a multi-sig, but this is a wallet that me and Frosty we share. Uh, so yeah, the way we did this is we got two ledgers and we transmitted the seed phrase in a way that we both have access to the ledgers. But yeah, so in some we have a multi-sig, we use cold wallets, and I trust my team.
Yeah, that makes sense. Excellent. So good. Then, so then, do you have any plans to decentralize, or will this stay closely held as you move forward?
So what we were kind of thinking about this, and I guess one of the things about decentralization is you have to first make sure that like your community, like your token is distributed well and your community is active. Because without these two things, decentralization can actually become it can become a risk. Like you look at for example, Tornado Cash got hacked because through governance, right? People weren't paying attention and someone pushed a malicious governance proposal. So that's like it is possibly risky to just like fully decentralized. Right now, we are admittedly running very centralized, so it's just us taking. We are deciding all of it. GA holders don't really get to make decisions. Later on in the future, we would like to um, look into snapshot votes. So if you hold GA or SGA, you'll be able to vote on decisions. But these aren't. Again, this is kind of like a more of a community thing, like we're just using token holders to gauge how we should act. I guess if we do deem that our token is really well distributed, no single entity controls a lot of tokens, our community is really active, we definitely could put all our ownership behind on-chain governance, but it's not really something we're looking into right now.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I think often, decentralization is kind of a meaningless buzzword because, right, it winds up not actually being decentralized because of token distribution. Um, so yeah, and right, you need a strong community in order to support that. So cool. So how will the team decide on an ongoing basis what to do with the treasury?
Yeah, so right now our treasury is kind of just like working capital. We've used it for so far for full transparency. We have paid our developers some of the money from the USDC we raised, but we still have a lot of USDC left. Um, and we've also used it for audits. But as far as how we're going to move forward with using the treasury, I guess this really just depends on like any expenses we see fit, or like if we want to like hire more people onto our team, we can use that. Um, it's it's really just there to give us flexibility if we need to like uh, like pay anybody. We have a lot of USDC still from our raise, and we have a lot of tokens, but we're not planning on just like dumping the tokens from treasury. That those will be for use for different things. So we have USDC for paying people, and we have GA and SGA for like strategic partnerships, probably.
Yeah, nice. You should have a good long runway and a good bit of flexibility as you go. So very cool. So perfect segue then to the GA token, and tell us how people can invest or participate in the protocol.
Right. So if you would like to invest in our project, not financial advice, but our token is trading on Uniswap. Once you get your GA, you have a few options for what you want to do. You can either add liquidity, so provide GA with USDC, and you can stake that onto GND and earn GND and XGND. Alternatively, we have launched staking yesterday, so there are some pretty good APRs on staking your GA. You'll earn wrapped ETH in rewards from the fees we collected. Alternatively, you can also escrow your GA, so lock your GA up and then stake it, and this will give you a higher APR um, and higher rewards because there's more emissions going into each escrowed GA than each GA.
Nice. And so what's up next? You've got Guy and escrow Guy staking live. So what's do you have a timeline for money markets?
Yeah, so this will money markets will probably be coming out next week, I want to say, but it's right now we are still waiting on Paladin for the audit. Uh, we have our UI mostly finished. We just need to connect it up to the smart contracts, and I've been working with the UI team on that. And but Yeah, so just stay tuned. In the following weeks, we will be launching the money markets.
Yeah, awesome. Exciting times for you guys. Looking forward to seeing it. So are you planning any contests or community events or things like that people should keep an eye out for?
So one thing about GA is we actually spent no money on marketing. I feel like the like my philosophy is kind of just like, when you give people tokens to like do things, right? It kind of just becomes so vapid. Like there's just so much fake engagement just to get your token, and a lot of users they'll just end up dumping it and just walk away once they get the bounty. So we actually just don't have any planned contests or community events. But it's not to say that we don't value our community. We really like everybody who promotes Scott. We've had some great people such as small cap scientists who made a video on our project, and that's really great. We're not paying any YouTubers, we're not paying any advertisers. It's really just the community is our marketing strategy basically.
Yeah, I love it. Nothing is sustainable as organic marketing and being able to do it yourself.
Yeah.
So, well, excellent. Well, I think that reaches the end of my list of questions. So Junyan, if you have any, anything else you'd like to say, well, everybody thinks of the audience thinks of their questions. So, audience, please raise your hands, and we'll get you up on stage if you want to ask things, or tweet them at us, or hop into Raiders Discord and tag me with them.
Yeah, feel free to say anything you want to ask. In the meantime, when I'm waiting for questions, I'll just say like I am really excited to work on Gas Protocol. It's been really fun. You know, I I'm really grateful for all the community support, everybody who's been showing up to these events, anybody who's been promoting GA, because it's like we we didn't plan any marketing or we didn't plan any of this engagement, but it's really great to see the GMD and GND community and like the greater Arbitrum ecosystem coming around and joining Gas. It's really cool, and I've never really led a project like this.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's it's definitely exciting to do the first one. Anybody? Questions? I'm capturing the last couple of names from the people that just came in.
Questions, please.
All right. Well, I guess that's going to be final call for questions. So we've done such a great job that we have left everybody knowing everything they want to know.
I guess that's great then.
So yeah, credit to you. Excellent job. And yeah, thanks everybody for attending another Raiders AMA. I've been Degenic here with Junyin from Gas Protocol, and yeah, keep an eye out for Gas full launch in the next couple of weeks.